Hello guys and welcome to Basketball Report for what's it, week 8.
Episode 4, season 1.
Hashtag.
So today's just gonna be another weekly update. So we're just going to go through teams of the week, players of the week, just reflect on the games that took place this week, upcoming games, and then the MVP power rankings. We'll proceed again. So let's get into it.
Easy.
Where do you want to start?
Let's start with our Eastern Conference Player of the Week. We have the Alphabet, the Greek Freak coming in. He's had some good games. Actually, had some really good scoring games. Like he's stepping up. Definitely.
Poor week last week for the Bucks.
Yeah, definitely.
And all of a sudden, this week, absolutely fantastic. We're on a 4-game winning streak. Giannis has stepped up very well. I mean, last 5 games averaging 33 points per game, 13.4 rebounds, also 1.2 blocks and steals respectively. Shooting a very, very decent 52% from the field. And, keeping that turnovers under 4.
No.
So, I mean, good week. Free throw, also not bad this week. Basically 75%. Free is obviously something that Giannis has never been very strong at, but he hasn't taken a lot of threes this week, which is good. The most he took was 5, and so keeping his numbers low. I want Giannis to take the open shot, because if he's gonna take the open shot consistently, players can't leave him open on the perimeter.
Yeah.
But I don't want Giannis to take 10 to 15 3 points per game. So I think this is a good place for him now.
Yeah.
Just taking 5 a game, that's fine. Not more than 5. If he hits 2, that's 40%. That's above league average. So I mean, to hit 2 3-pointers in one game, I don't think that's.
Yeah, and you can see also his free throw percentage went up. You can see his average over the regular season 66.3, but it's now at almost, you can say, 77.
I mean,
so
he's done really well to push it
like
up this week.
Last 4 games is it's exceptional actually.
Yeah, so I mean, well done to Giannis for making a comeback. I mean, it's not like he was bad last week, but the Bucks weren't winning games.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden, if you look at the standings, the Bucks are 20 and 13, and really, I mean, they're 2 games behind Philly, and everyone keeps on praising Philadelphia. They're also 2 games behind the Nets, but they have a game in hand on the Nets. So, I mean, a lot of criticism for them, but I don't think it deserves criticism.
No.
So,
West.
moving on to the Western Conference. This has been tough because the West has been up and down.
No
consistency at all. The good players had bad, team performances, and the bad teams had good individual player performances. So at the end of the day, we decided to give it to Zion, because Zion has had a very good week. His last 5 games, he's been averaging 31 points per game, basically, 7 rebounds, and shooting incredibly well from the field, 63%. So well done to
turnovers also low.
Turnovers at 2.8. He doesn't pass the ball a lot. I mean, that's
actually funny if you look. His steals and blocks are actually low.
I mean, I said the same thing earlier. I mean, Zion Williamson, it feels like he can do more defensively. For a big, strong guy like him, I expect him, especially with his athleticism, I expect him to get more blocks and more rebounds. But I also do understand that you have Steven Adams on the roster. And as an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, I can tell you Steven Adams is very solid in the paint, especially offensively when getting rebounds. So that would limit, his rebound statistics.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want Zion to be in the paint all the time. You want him to be explosive coming into the paint rather than just waiting in the paint all the time. So, I mean, very good week for them. The Pelicans, they've been making progress.
11th.
Yeah, very 11th at this moment. But if you also look at it, they're only 3 games behind the Nuggets, which are in the 8th seed. So, I mean, 3 games isn't, that's just a week without losing, and realistically they could be in playoff contention. So I think they did well. They had a great overtime victory against the Celtics as well. He and Brandon Ingram really stepped up. So, yeah, that's our 2 players of the week.
Yeah.
Giannis and Zion. Now, team of the week for the East and West are the same as last week. And for the East is the Brooklyn Nets.
Streak, 8 winning streak. They're absolutely, I don't know, they're dominating without KD. So, and James Harden definitely stepping up. Playing the team game, not the individual scoring stats.
I mean, obviously we looked at player performances from James Harden and Kyrie Irving for player of the week, but we decided to give it to the Bucks because of the criticism that the Bucks had. And we felt like Giannis did really well to adverse that criticism that he received. Whereas the Nets last week, they also won all their games, so they have been getting a lot of praise, and I think it's praise that really deserved. And now, do you think they can still continue to, be the team they are at the moment, or do you think their momentum is going to slow down a bit? I mean, this week they had great games against the Clippers and Lakers and Suns. What do you think?
Nah, I don't know actually. I think momentum will continue till, I don't know.
Yeah, we got a couple of easy games coming up. The Mavericks could be a high scoring game, but then they're playing the Spurs, Houston, Celtics, Pistons, Knicks. I mean, if you're looking at the schedule, I can still see them making, they could extend this to 20, if I'm being really honest with you. But I can see them only losing against the Jazz maybe, and that's in a month's time. So
no, I think they're going to continue. Philly must watch out at the top. Yeah, definitely. And
do you feel like if the Nets are first in the East, that one of their big 3 should automatically win MVP? Or is it
I don't know.
I'd have to see and wait.
Yeah, no, it's too early actually to call all this stuff. Yeah, and then in the West, the same as last week, the Jazz. Okay, they're just on a 2 winning streak. Well,
unfortunately lost to the Clippers, but I mean, there's no shame in losing to the Clippers. And it was also by 4 points, but they beat the Clippers prior in, I mean, I wouldn't say a blowout, but definitely a very convincing victory. I mean, the last 5 games, they beat Philly and the Clippers and the Lakers, which are teams that are in the top 3 of each conference respectively. And, just been increasing, building up momentum. And, looking at the schedule still in February, once again, I can't see them losing for a while. We've got a big game against Philadelphia on the 4th of March again. But if they win the next 3 games, they can take that game as well.
And as you can see, they play the 13th of March because it's All-Star weekend coming up. So then most of the team is going to race. So I don't think.
The only thing that I can see them maybe slowing them down is they're playing 4 away games now in a quick succession. And that might put strain on the team. But one thing I would give the Utah Jazz is they've got really nice depth on the roster.
Definitely.
A lot of scoring options, a lot of versatility. As an overall, I mean, that's why Donovan Mitchell or Gobert hasn't really won player of the week for us, and we don't really look at that statistics because, it's just been a great overall team
performance. Yeah. Okay, and then we go to shockers that happened this week. Obviously, let's begin with the Lakers.
Yeah.
And LeBron just absolutely being horse shit. That's all. I don't know.
I mean,
shooting 20% from 3. The whole team is like shit. LeBron is scoring like 90 points. The rest of the team.
It's been very tough. Not just the AD injury, but also Schroeder. So a lot of the responsibility has been put on LeBron for everything. And to be honest with you, I think their losing streak's going to continue. Looking at the games for the week,
they're playing the Suns, they're playing
the Suns,
Trailblazers
and Warriors.
I think they're going
Those are three teams that are currently top 7 in the West. I don't know when Schroeder's coming back. I know Anthony Davis isn't gonna come back, until
maybe
All-Star weekend, after the All-Star weekend. So for the next week, I can literally see the Lakers losing all the games again, unless the other players step up. Unless players like KCP has a good game, Harold steps up.
Caruso.
To be honest, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise you. Looking at their roster, it's very, very top heavy.
They fucked up.
Yeah, you take one player out and the whole team crashes. I think it's the same vice versa. If it's just AD, you take out LeBron, they're struggling as well. If you take Harold out, they're struggling. Even if you take a role player like a Sol out, they're still struggling because they're so top heavy. They've got no depth, and I can see the streak continuing. So it's not really an upset at this stage.
But we will do a video about the Lakers, because me and Christian,
we've been
when the trade happened, we said they're going to have shit. They're going to win maybe one ring, and then they're going to have shit.
That's a discussion
for
another day.
Yeah.
But the plain and short is, reflecting on the AD trade, both of us feel like, was it worth it to get one ring and then subsequently, not winning anything for a couple of years? But we're gonna have to see. They can change things. If AD comes back, we're still a good team. So
and then also the Nuggets have had a not that convincing week.
The Nuggets have
struggling. They lost against the Wizards last night. They're just inconsistent.
After the Trailblazer win, I really thought they're picking it up, and then they come back and they lose against the Wizards again for the second time just in 5 games. So
they lost against the Hawks. They lost against the they actually but also they had, I don't know. The West has been weird. It's just the Jazz, and it's everybody's struggling. Really.
There's a few consistent teams, and apart from that,
like the Hornets had a good week actually.
Yeah, the Hornets had a very good week. They had a few tough games, and they really did well.
The dub against the Hornets.
Against the Suns. Great win against the Suns. Lost against the Jazz.
Won the
Warriors. But then lost again to the Spurs again. And there's no shame in losing those games. Also beat the Timberwolves. I think that's more last week. But overall for this Hornets team, there's not a lot of, I wouldn't say talent, but there's not it doesn't pop out, You don't look at their roster and go like, wow, and they're doing good, I think realistically playoffs.
No,
maybe a low seed.
Definitely.
Working to the future, if Gordon Hayward can stay fit, if Terry Rozier can keep what he's doing. They still have Devontae Graham on the roster who's having a bad season. So if he can pick it up, keep on developing LaMelo Ball. I don't think LaMelo Ball is as good as everyone says, but I do think he is better than Lonzo. So I think he's also in a much better space.
Okay. Then also one team that was really bad and terrible is the Celtics. Rest in peace, Celtics. They are going downhill. They're going downhill fast. They are out of the playoffs at the moment. And literally, they just, I don't know what to say. They lost against, let's see. Okay.
They lost against the Hawks, they lost against the Mavericks, they lost against the Pelicans, and they lost against the Hawks again. So, I'd expect them to lose games. There's no shame in losing against the Mavericks or Pelicans, especially because the Pelicans game was OT. But, it's just not been good enough. At this stage, they're currently 9th.
And Miami Heat is just underneath them. Literally one game away from going past.
Last season,
the Hawks is also close.
They were competing for, top 3 last season. and this season, just nothing. And I think it has a lot to do. I mean, they have been struggling with injuries. Kemba hasn't been too good, and Marcus Smart also has been out with injury for a few games. So, I mean, we also do understand that, but, you'd expect better. They are missing Gordon Hayward. I think Gordon Hayward was a big part of this team, and, looking at their roster, apart from Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, there's not as much talent as I would have thought there actually was.
Yeah.
All the time we're always hyping up the Celtics, but we've got a great young team. But at this stage, apart from those two guys, it's basically two great players, depending on whether you put Kemba in whatever category. So let's say 3 great players and 10 G League.
But you see, they have 2 All-Star players at the moment. Jaylen Brown, is Jason Tatum also an All-Star? I don't know.
I think both of them got.
So.
I mean, 2 All-Star players and you're 9th in the East.
That's let's be honest. That's quite shit. So,
no, that's
okay, I don't know actually what to discuss. I think that's about the 2 teams or 3 teams. Okay, 2 and the Hornets that had a nice week, and then upcoming games.
Most all of the Lakers games are.
Just check it out.
Because it's big games, big Western Conference playoff, maybe playoff matchup games.
Yeah.
So those are games to look out for, and apart from that, there's not too much that you really. Bucks Clippers is gonna be a good game. That's Sunday.
That's Sunday.
So that would be a nice game
to watch. Hopefully, let's hope it's a nice game.
Yeah, I mean let's hope Kawhi and Paul George plays. I don't like this load management stuff. But I mean, that's also a discussion for another day. And, that's about it. Not really too many games that really are intriguing.
Out, Bucks, Nuggets maybe.
Bucks, Nuggets as well.
Lakers, Suns, definitely look out for that.
Yeah, all the Lakers games.
That's about it. It's just going to be mostly one-sided games.
Yeah, and then just on the 4th of March, Philly playing Jazz.
Big.
1v1. So that would also be. The Jazz had them in the first matchup, so we're gonna have to see how the second matchup goes. Any predictions for that one?
I think the Jazz is going to.
I also think the Jazz.
Jazz is just. Guys, we will do a video on this. The Jazz as a team in whole is a better team.
And I also think
at the moment.
I also think they're gonna take it because of Gobert. You can put on Joel Embiid.
Definitely.
So a lot of neutralizing, competition. Ben Simmons might be a problem for Donovan Mitchell because of the length. Especially driving to the rim. But it is Ben Simmons, so if he can just keep him on the perimeter. Yeah. Ben Simmons,
I don't know what.
I don't want to hate on Ben Simmons, but he's not as good as everyone says, and he's very, very overrated. I'm not gonna go into his stats right now, so just saying. But he's also been struggling with injuries as well. So
okay. Let's start with our MVP ranking quickly. Just gonna give it. KD isn't in the top 5 anymore. He hasn't played for a while, and we decided we're going to remove him. And at number 5 it's Kawhi, Leonard, the Claw.
I mean we had to remove KD because for me it feels like MVP is most valuable player, and how can you be the most valuable player if you are not playing? If you play one game and you score 50 and you average 50 for the season because you played one game, I mean, statistically, you're technically the MVP. But if you only played one game, it feels like you shouldn't be eligible to be. And I think he's been missing games. Once he's been playing, once he's been getting back, I think we can put him back in. But looking at Kawhi Leonard, he's not missed a lot of games with load managed this season. He's played 27 games, which is actually,
shocking.
How many games has the Clippers played? They played 34, so it's only missed 7, which is
quite not that much.
His stats. He's Kawhi, nothing great.
Average
26.7 points per game, 6.1 rebounds, 4.9 assists, and but looking at his steals, 1.6, which is obviously very good, and then turnovers only at 1.9, which is basically 2 per game. So very well, very good, and obviously he's a very efficient scorer, 51% from field. Very good, solid player. I have him at 5. You can put someone else at 5. Personally, I just put Kawhi here because of his statistics as well as team performance. Yeah. But if you put a player like Damian Lillard at 5, I would understand that you have a case to make.
Yeah.
And moving to number 4.
We have the Sheffields, the Currys. Stephen Curry. Yeah, he was last week at 5, but as you know, we removed KD, so he just moved one up, and I don't know actually what to say. He's a free throw exceptional, almost 100%. 6.3 assists, 5.5 rebounds, and he's averaging 30 points.
I mean, which is very well, as he's been putting up his points per game, consistently.
Yeah.
Which is nice, and he's improving on his good stats already. I think for me, they just need the team performance. I mean, Definitely. At this stage, he can't be one because the Golden State Warriors aren't good enough.
Definitely.
So he just has to keep on improving, get the roster up. Just top 5. Then he has a solid case to make.
Yeah. A run for MVP. Definitely.
You would have to say top 3 realistically, but put him at 5. You can definitely put him in the argument.
Okay, then we have Jokic. He's one down, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, actually he's at 3. He's still at the same spot.
Yeah, because we had Kevin Durant at 2. At the 2, I think.
I think.
No, I think Jokic was 2. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's last week versus this week. So Jokic is at 3 just mainly because also the same as with Stephen Curry.
He also didn't play the game.
Team performance.
Yesterday, yeah. No 4, 7, 20. What is going on? Anyway. Don't know what's that. But anyway, yeah, his team has been struggling, inconsistent, and yeah,
I mean,
why he's at 3.
His stats are still fantastic. Yeah, 27 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 8.4 assists.
Almost a triple-double average.
Also with more steals than Kawhi Leonard. He's on 1.7 steals per game this season. Yeah. More blocks as well.
Better 3-point average also, better field goal average.
I mean, he has a better 3-point percentage as Stephen Curry, although it's only with 0.3%. But
still, stats.
Lower attempts as well, which we should also be mindful of. He's not shooting as many 3-points. I'm not saying Jokic is a better 3-point shooter than Stephen Curry. Just saying very impressive for Jokic and for a center.
Then he moved up 1.
I think he moved up from 4.
4. I don't know.
Yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
He is stepping up his game. 28, or we can say 29 points per game.
29 points per game.
11.7 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Free throws, struggling a bit with the free throws and also 3-pointers, but he's not a 3-point shooter, so don't expect him. Blocks 1.3, steals 1.3. That's actually good.
I mean, very good. He's above both league average for both of those, and the thing that always stands out for me about Giannis, field goal percentage, currently on 56%. I mean, that is efficient. This week he stepped up, he's got a team back into winning ways, and I mean, if they continue with this, definitely. I mean, Chris Middleton has also stepped up this week. I have to put it out there that Chris Middleton has also left his game this week.
Definitely.
And that has also played a part. But, looking at Giannis, especially the last 5 games, that's why he's our player of the week. His last 3 games, 38 points, 37 points, and 38 points.
Jeez.
And that all on a field goal percentage that is higher than league average. So he's stepping up, and I think he deserves to be in the top 3. Yeah. Of MVP. I mean, so definitely, I'm just putting it out there, if Giannis and the Bucks can be one in the East, I can't see any other MVP for me.
Then at 1, still Joel Embiid, still at 1. Actually the stats is not bad,
It's fantastic. That's why he's won an MVP.
Definitely almost 30 points per game, 11.2 rebounds, assists. above league average.
He's not a great passer, so I mean.
Free throws really good. 3-point percentage 40.5, which is also just underneath Curry. So, you know, the guy is brilliant. He's definitely, you know, showing that,
I was comparing him to Jokic, I mean, shooting, they both are shooting
absolutely
fantastic.
He shot a 50-point game against the Bulls. Yeah, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he scored 50 points on 65.
5 field goal percentage,
so
it's crazy.
Just been absolutely fantastic.
And with 2 turnovers, just look at that. 2 turnovers, it's insane against the Chicago Bulls.
And the thing is about Joel, he's putting up stats, you know, everywhere. I mean, his field goal percentage is 52%, 3-point, as mentioned, you know, 41. But, you know, also 1.3 steals and 1.3 blocks per game. You know, he's doing it offensively and defensively as Giannis as well. And I think at this stage, apart from team performance, that's putting Joel Embiid in front of Jokic. It's just that defense, you know.
Yeah.
That solid defense. And I'm not saying Jokic doesn't have good defense. I mean, Jokic isn't necessarily a great defender. But, you know, he also does get a lot of steals, which contributes to fast breaks and scoring points, etc. But you know, I think it's tighter than a lot of people say it is. Giannis and Joel, you know, I think Joel just has him at you know, scoring percentages, you know, shooting at this stage.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, he has the advantage at this stage, Joel, but don't put out Giannis in this matchup. You know, a lot of people are saying, you know, he's over and, you know, he's not going to win a game. Just watch this place. You know, you guys are doubting a 2-time MVP here. He's gonna come for free, so yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, guys, thanks for listening, watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Always the same thing. Go check out our Twitter and
also our TikTok. Just
TikTok.
Posting memes, not really any
just bantering
great
everybody.
content.
So
the link will be all down in the description.
And yeah.
And yeah, see you guys next week again.
There we go.
Or next episode.
Yeah.